What up, what up? I'm the Crate Digger. This is Studio to Stage. Studio to Stage is a development series which is designed to increase awareness of artists to standards, norms, and just different things to help increase the likelihood of success, efficiency, and quality. Now, this series has two sections, and each of those sections is divided up into three subsections. We have pre studio, in studio, post studio, then we have pre stage or pre show, on stage, and off stage or post stage. With that being said, all of the things that I share are based on decades of my time on stage and in the studio as a performer, DJ, producer, and much, much more. Listen, this is not all inclusive, nor are my suggestions the only way that things can be done. With that being said, I've seen a lot of ways that it shouldn't be done. Feel free to like, comment, and share. Let's get into it. Let's move to on stage. Set times, set times, set times. Know what they are. Understand that different things may change. For example, if you're doing a festival and weather comes through that pauses the festival, your set time or the length of your set may be altered. Also, it is so important, once again, when we go back to professional courtesy and professionalism and consideration, know what your set time is and stay inside of it. Communication with your techs. As I talked about, whether it be in your sound check process or other ways, communicating with your techs looks like different things. But when you're on stage in your performance, communication with techs is important. And there's a lot of different ways it can be done. Once again, no one way has to happen, but it's important to build an understanding of what that looks like. So for an example, a lot of times when people are on stage and they want something turned up, but also if something is good, sometimes we give it a thumbs up. Sometimes it's confusing because I don't know if you mean turn it up or if that's good. If I need something turned up, I point up for turn it up. If I need it down, I say, hey, my mic, turn it down. And when something is good, I'll say okay, that A-OK. That lets them know that whatever changes they have made are good. That's just one example of how having communication with techs that's laid out previously, ideally during sound check. So when I need to communicate with the tech during my performance and I can't talk to them verbally, we can still communicate to maximize the efficiency of my performance. Crowd engagement. I really hate to say this, but it needs to be said. Keep in mind, I see too often that people forget about the crowd that's there to see them when they're on stage. A lot of performing to their friends on the side or in the stage behind them, or don't forget about the crowd. And inside of don't forgetting about the crowd, don't forget about the whole crowd. Now, I'm not saying you have to run back and forth across stage, but spend time in each section of the stage engaging as much as the full audience as you can. It leads and tends to get you more bookings the more you can engage with the crowd and the people who have paid money to see you. Last thing I'll talk about when we talk about our on-stage experience is documentation. Easy, but it's difficult because so often we're so focused on the performance itself, we forget about documenting it. Sometimes it's as simple as having a USB drive and talking to either the mix engineer side of stage or sometimes the house engineer and asking, is it possible to get an off-the-board recording of our performance? Basically means that the mix engineer or sometimes the house engineer can use a USB drive, a thumb drive, and record a 2-track or a stereo left and right recording of the performance. Sometimes you can incorporate a DAW, D-A-W, digital audio workspace or workstation, and you can get a multi-track recording. So instead of just getting a 2-track, a stereo left and right, you can have each individual line or input recorded individually, and then you can go back and remix those or mix those at a different level after the fact. Let's talk about video documentation. Sometimes you can go the pro way. You can hire a videographer, photographer, and they can come and document the whole process, whether it be your sound check, your performance, or more. Or sometimes you have to DIY, do it yourself, whether that's as simple as putting a GoPro or some sort of camera on stage with you and mounting it to a microphone stand, or if you have a friend who can hold their phone and get good footage of your performance, or once again, they could put it on a stand and record your performance.